Scoozy, we going.
We going?
We going. We in it.
All right, well, I'm fixing my hair.
We all up in it.
I'm fixing, I'm just putting it up.
We're getting out of the way.
Yes, please. So much of it.
You do have a lot of hair. And then it does wind up everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's like little memories of you all over the floor.
All those follicular tags.
Right. You could clone the hell out of you. We mentioned that before, right?
Yeah.
Cloning follicular tags.
Oh, no, not cloning them.
Oh. Maybe I've just thought about it.
Wait, what do you mean?
Just there's enough DNA in
Yeah.
a follicular tag to clone someone, supposedly.
Really?
Well, that's what they say.
Oh. I
And
did
by
not know
they,
that.
I mean I
Yeah.
read it in
The
a
one
journal.
article or
yeah,
something.
There was like a
Yeah.
Nature that mentioned it or something.
Enough DNA in one follicular tag could
Yeah.
clone an entire person.
Yeah, I mean, they think eventually all you would need is a cell,
Oh my god.
you know, but
Yeah.
That-
And isn't that what we essentially start out
isn't there
as?
something beautiful that all of our information starts in one cell?
Stardust.
We are all started. Where did that come from?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Is it no? I feel like there was a quote before that we are. All,
I mean,
I-
probably.
I
but
think Carl Sagan. I think it may have been Carl Sagan who would have been his mentor.
Oh, that's right.
That
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are
yeah.
all
Where the
starting-
concept actually
starting
came from. But then I remember, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, a video came out, and it's Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about like how beautiful is it that we all basically are made of stardust, but
Yeah.
it's this long-winded thing, and it has all these beautiful
Graphics and
graphics
music
and beautiful
yeah.
music with it. I remember the first time I saw it. You know, I'm probably 15.
Did you
I'm
cry?
like, probably, yeah. That's what I mean.
I understand.
I was like, oh my god, I'm so moved. We're
Do you
all
recall
connected.
there was a moment in time when the biggest thing in the world was the sunscreen song?
What?
This might just be like just a click
Okay.
to you
Or
and
is
I
this
are like
like a
5 years.
Mandela effect type of thing?
No, we'll look it up later, but or maybe like I'll in this clip I'll play it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's this poem,
Okay.
and it was like a spoken word thing, and it has music behind it, and there is a beat, but it's like when you go out, make sure to stare at the trees. When you go out, make sure that you let the wind sweep you away.
Okay.
And it's like no matter where you go, always remember
Sunscreen.
wear your sunscreen.
Okay.
And it's like this thing over and over, and it's about appreciating life and blah, blah, blah. But in the early 2000s, right when like Chicken Soup for the Soul hit and stuff,
Yeah.
it was like a radio hit. So it was like a weird spoken word poem set to
Are
music.
you sure it was even that late? Because I was like very aware of the Chicken Soup for the Soul stuff. Like I had
I feel like this
those
was
and-
like 2001, 2002.
Huh.
So around
I'll
that
have to
era.
look it up. No, I don't know anything about it.
So many.
So what was going on that
Remember your
maybe just the,
sunscreen. Well,
the
9/11
millennium?
maybe.
Well, yeah, or the the millennium. A lot of people are thinking about life
Yeah.
and what does it mean to be in this time, and what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to live, etc.
It just sort of resonated with everybody for a moment. It was definitely a
Yeah.
moment in time.
Huh? Okay, I'll have to check it out. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I'm probably misquoting the actual stuff in it, but it is
Yeah.
you get the point.
I get the point.
Yeah,
I get it. Wear your sunscreen.
Which now, new studies show might be completely irrelevant.
I know.
By the way,
I know.
Of course, every few years is like, eggs are good, eggs are terrible. Turns out eggs are amazing.
Now they're just expensive.
Beef. Oh, you shouldn't eat. Oh, you shouldn't eat all that cheese. Oh, it turns out the cheese has enzymes that are
Also
good for your
very
gut
expensive.
biome. And yeah, well, everything's very expensive. It's just so funny that, I mean, not even 10-year cycles. It's
I know.
this thing's great for you, and I think that sunscreen isn't necessarily bad. There's just no net benefit.
Yeah.
That in actually, I'm almost positive that this was an actual journal. I was just reading the post, but it was that there's no net benefit in using sunscreen, and if anything, you're getting less vitamins and shit from the sun.
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah. it's blocking the good things.
Right.
It's not necessarily putting any
And
bad
what
things
you
in
should
you.
really be doing is 15 to 30 minutes at a time.
Rotations. Yeah, moving.
Is that, yeah,
Yep.
you can't, obviously, skin cancer is a real thing.
Yeah.
The sun is a giant nuclear reactor.
Giant.
The biggest
That we know.
nuclear body. Well, the closest one to us.
The closest, that's
We
what
know
I
there's
mean,
big
that we're
ones.
familiar with.
But yeah, of course, too much sun, like too much fucking anything is
yeah.
bad for you.
Yeah.
But the optimal thing to do is to get sunlight, a lot of it, in short bursts. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Surprise.
Surprise. Just need that sunlight, please.
When you lay out, do you do 30?
I literally put a timer on now.
I know you do, yeah.
No, I usually can't even stand to be in one position for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm usually more of like a 15 to 20. If I'm reading a really good book or I'm listening to a really good podcast, I can sit pretty still. But no, usually by the 15-minute mark, I'm ready to flip and turn and get up and do something.
Do you ever feel like you're being watched?
Yes, because I'm literally surrounded by buildings.
So Liz lays out on our roof. We have a rooftop patio.
Yeah.
And there are some chairs up there to lay out on.
Oh, yeah.
They're not Adirondacks. They're like
No, they're
flat
like
or-
pool chairs. They're
Like poolside chairs.
Patio chair or
Yeah.
like pool deck chairs.
Yes,
yeah.
like deck chairs, exactly. Made to be laid out on. But our building's only 4 stories.
Yeah.
And we're surrounded by much taller buildings on
Yeah,
all sides.
12 stories.
I mean, the
and
road's
then
towers
higher.
is
Yeah.
fucking 50.
But the
whatever.
funniest thing is the landlords for our building, their offices are directly across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Facing our building. I think
Yes.
they're on like the 7th or 8th floor.
They
So,
probably have the best view.
oh my God, it's just like right there. But I'm like, you put this up
Yeah,
here.
put it up here.
I live here.
You want people to use it.
I'm going to engage with it.
The roof-
But it's always like in the middle of the day too.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I thankfully have the flexibility to go out there at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m.
Right.
So people are 100% working those hours.
Right.
I always feel a little like I'm taking off my
Little wrap.
little wrap and I have my bathing suit on. But once I'm situated, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, whatever, I'm here. I've gone up there and like sometimes I'll water the plants when I'm up there
Right.
just because I'm never convinced they're doing it enough.
Right.
But I'll just be like in my bathing suit and I'm like, this is downtown living, baby.
I think people understand when you live in a
The
city.
funniest thing is when I start weeding.
Like cleaning up the flower beds.
Yeah, but like in the cracks in the cement that's
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
I mean, it needs to be done. But
Yeah.
then I'm in my bathing suit and I'm like, once again, in like a
Digging.
golem state,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
crouched over, digging at the dirt. And like
Yeah.
someone will inevitably come onto the roof when I'm doing that. Like,
Then you have to
what are
explain
you
what you're doing.
I'm weeding. Sorry. I
Yeah,
just wanted
there's
there
these
to not
fucking
be
weeds up here. Yeah.
When I see a weed, pick it.
Yeah.
Probably because I'm a picker.
You are quite a picker.
That is, yeah.
I am not.
Yeah. And a lot of people are pickers.
But it's obviously it's a
Literally
common thing.
picking at my thumb as we speak.
Yeah. You make yourself bleed sometimes.
As we all do. But
I don't.
isn't that, I mean, don't they say, no, you have before, but don't they say that is some like natural instinct, like when we were whatever being
I'm sure
we
there's
were,
an evolutionary thing that
Yeah.
it makes that there's some sort of safety precaution that those
or
things.
cleansing. It's like a cleansing.
Well, and obviously monkeys pick
Yeah,
the fuck out of it. That's what they do.
exactly.
And it shows like, I know when you pick me that it's a sign of love.
Yeah. Need to get this off.
They would be picking out little lice and bugs and shit.
And I'm like, your skin's weird right here.
But it's always it's a familial thing. It's a safety thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this person can touch me, and I feel comfortable enough
Yeah.
with this person touching me.
But yeah, like I don't know when, a lot of people bite their nails, pick at their nails,
Ugh.
and a lot of times, well, okay, but a lot of times it's in moments of stress, or
yeah.
fear or anxiety, and so yeah, why do we do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never really researched it at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are correct, but people have a lot of stress, nervous tics.
Yeah,
things
in
that they do.
general, and maybe this is just the most common. It's the easiest to get to.
There, and
Excuse me.
like, you need to cut your nails.
Right.
It's a thing that you need to do anyway. So a thing that you can do, and
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing because nails are fucking dirty.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Well, I don't get sick very often.
Yeah. I mean, I just have never done it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if it would have been a thing, and maybe like, I don't think my parents really did either. Or
Yeah.
like I wasn't around anyone who did it. So,
My mom does.
well, then there's a direct correlation.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's my comfort because she does it.
That's so many things are like that.
Yeah.
So many things.
Quite literally picking.
I remember my dad would pick his nails.
Yeah. Like
at-
underneath, just sort of like,
around.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes he would make himself bleed for sure. But it's fascinating.
Yeah. Little human things are always interesting.
Tons.
I mean, one of the best things about the internet is when someone puts something out there,
You no longer feel alone.
and you no longer feel alone. And I'm talking about little mundane things like this. They're obviously things that you kind of hope that a lot of people aren't connected on this, but unfortunately they are. But when you find out, like, I'm not the only one that just chows down on their cuticles.
Is that show still on, My Strange Addiction?
Oh God, probably. I don't know.
I remember that was such an interesting
Maybe it changed
one.
to like a YouTube show or something.
I remember there was a woman who was like eating her couch.
What?
She like her
Oh, she would like pick at the foam.
picked the stuffing like out of her couch. That was like her thing,
Oh
and she was
my
like addicted to
God.
like she had to like keep getting like couches because she would like.
Well, what about her body? I thought you were gonna she'd have to keep getting like surgeries or something.
I don't recall what happened with her body, but I'm assuming it was not good.
So she's eaten multiple couches.
Eating 3 couches.
God.
Like Pac-Man with some ghosts. Just.
I feel like that's the thing where if she posted about that, I don't know if anybody would be like, yes, same.
Well, no. And I think the only reason like a show like Hoarders at that time when TLC was like not just trash.
Yeah, not
it was
just
one of those things where like
90 Day
families
Fiancé.
submitted this because the idea would be like
Help her.
we're going to send in
Yeah.
a psychiatrist or like a social worker to help this person with whatever it, they're eating their hair.
But they're like, but we know it's
I feel
really
like
good
eating
for
their
television
eating
too.
their hair is a really common one.
Yeah, I do too.
Like people do that a ton. But yeah, weird. So drinking, some people like get addicted to drinking Windex or something, or
God.
like
Yeah.
not even because you don't even get like high. It's just like the weird thing. Yeah.
Okay.
People
well,
be people in.
people be people in. Yeah.
I mean, vampires get addicted to drinking blood.
Okay, Matt.
We were just talking about
I
Nosferatu.
know.
So
I know. Which we still haven't seen.
maybe tonight. Maybe.
Yeah. I do want to see it.
Oh well, like Eggers, right?
Eggers.
Eggers, EGG. Yeah, Eggers. Yeah, big fan. Obviously, since The Witch, which I like, absolutely love so much.
I think I've only seen that movie once, and it took me like some days to sort of process it.
Well, that's how we felt about The Green Knight.
Yeah, any of these movies. Who did like Hereditary? Was it also him?
No, it's a different director who did Hereditary. I'm not even going to try and
Doesn't matter.
talk about it now. Yeah.
Any of these movies where it's like you were very caught up when you're watching it, and everything's happening, and then it ends, and then like you slowly start to kind of rethink about all the things you just saw, and you almost like relive it as you're kind of processing it, and then maybe you come to a conclusion and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about those movies.
The only reason I don't think Eggers did Hereditary is it's contemporary.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
And he specifically, I just read the quote where he's like, I don't want to ever do a film that has a cell phone in it.
Yeah. Did he mean that there would not physically be a cell phone, or it's a period of time where cell phones exist?
I think he wants to do period pieces, but they just announced he's going to do Labyrinth, which is a fantasy.
Yeah.
But it sort of has like, in the Labyrinth is like medieval with puppets.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Fascinating.
Which, have you seen the original?
What do you think the answer to that
I think the answer is no, but it's like
you're correct.
it's a music film.
I
And
know,
so
I
iconic.
just-
And
I don't know. I've
Jim Henson. All the
not
puppets are Henson
seen
Studios.
a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And I blame that on, for a long time, blamed it just on the fact that we weren't a big movie family.
Right.
I mean, some of the obvious ones. Well, I say that, and then an obvious one comes up, and I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. I truly believe that, like, in my childhood years, we were living in South Carolina
You're just
in
outside.
a cul-de-sac
Yeah.
with three other families. You could play outside year round.
I was just gonna say,
And
there
that's
wasn't
just what we were
winter,
doing. There
yeah.
wasn't winter. There were rainy days, but there was just way less time
Mm-hmm.
inside trying to find things to do. And so in those sort of childhood years where you build a lot of habits or just kind of whatever, movies just weren't really a part of it.
Yeah.
And so then as I transitioned into my like preteen and teenage years, kind of a similar thing. It just was never, I mean, there was a period of time in high school, like later high school, where I would go to the art house theater
Right.
in Dayton,
The
the
Neon.
Neon. And I saw a lot of movies during
It's a
that
great theater.
period. And it was,
If you're in the
it's a
Dayton area,
great theater.
the Neon's really cool.
And that was just a really amazing time, especially for indie films. Nowadays, I feel like so many indie films, they're pushing some agenda. It's trying to make some sort of statement. At the time, maybe I just wasn't as aware, but I truly believe that,
I'm sure they were all very political.
maybe, but I also think that there was just an opportunity to create and showcase just interesting stories in general. Because even when I go back and look at some of the movies that I saw there, I would watch them now, and I don't think that they would necessarily have such an obvious
Right.
agenda or position or something. So I don't know, but those are my movie days. So to answer your question, no, I've not seen the original Labyrinth.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, but I think starting soon, I have the show this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it kind of mellows out. And obviously, we'll have Parlor Suite stuff. We'll be transitioning the artist over. Construction will hopefully wrap towards the end of February, and then Chaos in March. But I think it'll open us up a little bit. I
You're
think
talking about Tuesday movie nights?
Tuesday movie nights. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
The Gateway, which is the independent theater here.
Mm-hmm.
And they get all the indie films, but all
They
the
do.
majors as well. I think we've mentioned that they do the deal on Tuesdays. So
$5 Tuesdays.
yeah, so
I think,
which
well,
I've
at
not
least
checked
for
that
a
in a
while.
while.
I know, neither have
We
I.
used to do
but
it.
it
It was
was like $5 Tuesdays.
half off
Free,
drinks,
free popcorn.
free popcorn, and it was happy hour all night. So
And
drinks
it's
were just
happy hour
half
all
off.
night. Yeah. So maybe
It was an amazing
maybe
deal.
we'll get on it.
When the weather's nice, we can walk.
Yeah.
So it's like a 25-ish minute walk, if that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like that. Just to be kind of part of culture.
Well, it's good, and like for me, consuming pop culture, a huge part of my job.
That's true.
So not only tattoo content, so if someone
Yeah.
wants a Pokemon or a Star Wars or whatever, like if I'm familiar with the universe, the client gets hyped,
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
And it's a genuine
well,
interest
for,
and
yeah, for
understanding.
me, like I'm open to all art as well, so like I don't get like if something, I don't know, certain demographics think that you can't watch something or consume something, or like maybe anime is like dumb.
What do you mean?
Like if you're a high level CEO, you shouldn't be watching anime or something, or like certain classes of people don't consume certain content.
Oh.
Like a jock nerd type of thing.
Okay.
And those lines have blurred.
Yeah.
For sure. But like I like every possible thing, and people will be like, well, you can't like Star Wars and Star Trek, or I don't know. There's all these different
okay.
rules.
I see what
People
you're
people
saying.
make these fictional rules about what you're supposed to be able to, and it's like, well, I only watch like serious documentaries,
Right.
or I only watch, like high level art films.
Do you really hear people saying stuff like that?
No, but people, yes, I don't hear people saying that.
Yeah.
But that is like very common tropes. I mean, you don't like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I only watch certain things.
I know, but a lot of people do. They're like, well, I only read nonfiction,
Okay.
or I only read fantasy.
Yeah.
Or tons of people have a niche that they
Right,
like.
right.
And
Okay, I
honestly,
see.
most of my clients do as well.
Yeah.
And everything they consume kind of falls in one lane.
Yeah.
But I really like to diversify what
Yeah.
I'm consuming, and I really honestly like absolutely every possible type of content.
Yeah.
And I can get just as much out of, watching a Holocaust documentary as I can watching a Marvel film.
Right.
And I can fully engage with both of these, separate myself out, and be like,
Oh, look at you.
appreciate aspects of all art,
Right.
in
right.
general. So
I
it's
get
like,
it. Probably because you've allowed yourself to be exposed to all of that out of almost a
yeah.
need
And
to do it.
And the last thing I was going to say about it is not just knowing what the client wants, but if you're watching contemporary film, it's just shit to talk about.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
people come in and they,
It's like instead of talking about the weather, what are you watching?
yeah, what film have you been in theater? What are you watching now? Oh my God, no, I haven't seen the sequel yet, but I saw the first one.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh,
like,
we've been at parties and dinners where the entire conversation is around shows that you're watching, movies that you've seen,
it's kind of, well, yeah,
and then the culture surrounding all
Yeah.
of that. And it's like, that's where the entire conversation went, the entire
that's fine.
evening.
It's an easy conversation to lean into.
It's an
and-
easy conversation. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I like to get heavy, if I can.
Oh, I know.
But it's also a good stepping stone into it as well.
You're right,
You know?
right.
Oh, you brought up Gladiator. Let's talk about the Roman Empire and the fall of it, motherfucker. Let's dive right
Pretty
in.
easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
transition.
anything at all.
Yeah.
How was your day?
My day was good overall. I was talking recently about this. I don't know if I was talking here with somebody, but my dreams have been pretty wild lately. Not even wild. They haven't been crazy dreams, But they've just been
crossing into your reality.
they've been a little bit crossing into my reality, and to the point where I'm waking up and the dream is still very much lingering, and I'm having a very hard time shaking it. Like last night, it wasn't a bad dream by any means, but I dreamt a lot about kind of like, it was like I was back in high school, but I was like back with my immediate family. Like you weren't in my dream at all. We were back in like some of the houses where we lived and my grandparents' house and stuff. And I just woke up feeling like almost on edge. And I don't know why. Because like I said, nothing bad happened in the dream. It was a completely pleasant dream. But I just felt out of my own reality at that point. And it like kind of fucked with me. I woke up and it put me in not a bad mood, but an off mood, which usually translates into kind of like an icky mood.
Well, you felt like you were in the wrong time.
Everything felt a little bit wrong immediately.
Maybe you time traveled.
Maybe a little bit. It fucking knows what dreams are, so very possible.
I am not convinced that time is linear.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
So
it can't be.
I squawked a lot about this today. My client has become fairly spiritual. I think they always were.
Cool.
But Vlad today, he was just like, I don't know, sort of coming in and out, you know, like I think he's like self-actualizing and finally like in a good place personally, which is really positive. But yeah, we talked about that a whole bunch, and sort of like visions or moments or dreams, and can you be in multiple places at once in your life?
Yeah.
You know, which obviously there's a ton of film.
I mean, memory is...
What is memory?
What the fuck is memory?
Well, it's the least
reliable
source of anything.
Of anything, I know.
Yeah. And
well, I say all the time now, I'll have a memory. For example, we went to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
I have a visual in my head, a memory of what Chuck E. Cheese looked like when I was a kid, I think. Or was it a dream that I had, probably also as a kid,
right,
of what I thought Chuck E. Cheese
there also
looks
would have
like.
been like Chuck E. Cheese commercials.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
So there would have been just like content.
So, you know, when people were saying, when we went to Chuck E. Cheese, and some people were saying they had never been, I can't tell you 100% if I've actually ever, now I have been to a Chuck E. Cheese, I can tell you.
100% you have
before that,
yes.
I'm not 100% certain if I actually went to Chuck E. Cheese. Or was it a dream? Or was it just a created memory, like you said, out of commercials or something? So yeah, memory.
Didn't we watch that 9/11 documentary or was that just, that was just, that was on Explained, right? It was the Netflix series.
Yes.
Which, if you're listening, highly recommend. There's some interesting ones for sure.
I forgot about that
show. But it was about memory.
Yes.
And they were talking to the 9/11 people, sort of like people who were young kids at the time, and their memories of it. Yeah. And like they were looking at drawings they had made and stuff, and they were all like inaccurate.
Yeah.
And they were convinced like, oh no, the smoke was going this way. And it's like, it wasn't at all.
Yeah.
You were like sitting in a different spot. It was like, one person's like, well, I could see it. And it was like, no, you couldn't.
Yeah.
But they were convinced. They had convinced themselves.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It makes my brain hurt a little bit.
And I just finished up this book called Chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Which there's a big memory aspect, especially at the end of it. So it's Chaos. It's about Charles Manson, but sort of like secret CIA agencies and operatives in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Very fascinating. The research is dense.
Yeah.
It is very intense. But, you know, we know like this stuff has come out through like Freedom of Information and different lawsuits, but that the CIA was doing experiments on people wittingly and mainly unwittingly in the 1950s and 60s. A lot of it was to implant memories.
Oh.
So the idea being like, could you give someone some sort of drug, LSD is what they were trying, and could you like either change their memories, convince them of different memories, change their ideology, or secretly implant messages for them to then tell other people, but basically the person is unaware.
Oh my God.
But you could change entire things. Like you could like, this person could be in a combat situation and do something terrible. And when they get back, you could convince them that it didn't happen. You know, how do you like do that? And with the help of LSD and other things, or vice versa, you know, so they're trying to fight communism. So how do you like change ideologies in people? But they were just pumping it up with LSD to people not knowingly.
What years?
So sort of started around the mid-50s.
That early?
And it went until sort of the late 60s into the early 70s. And it was sort of like the mid 70s, everything blew up.
Okay.
it
Because
was
that's
al-
what. Yeah.
It was almost like 20 years, basically like a 20 to 25 year program, MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So what the fuck are they doing now?
Well, exactly. You know, and it's like you try to like get it, like half the records are missing, you know. And
Well, I don't know why this just made me think that, don't they say that the technology that we have today that's considered new technology, they started working on over 25 years ago?
Right. Yep,
Or they
100%.
basically like kind of figured out
Yep.
the technology and then were able to like get it to its perfect form, but it's a 25 plus year time span.
Oh yeah.
So what the hell are they working
Where are
on
they at
right
now?
now?
I know. When you look
know.
at drone tech, you know, and zero gravity, these things that like
And maybe, I don't know if the 25-year thing, if that still is a legitimate number, just because of the technology we have to help
Well,
the
if
technology.
you look at
Hasn't
the-
sped everything up.
if you look at the technological curve, it's almost like a straight line up now.
Really?
Like it's from the Industrial Revolution. You know, you sort of have like steam engines or whatever. But remember, like
Chugging along.
chugging along. But from the first flight
To the moon.
to the moon landing, what was it?
It was 1903 to
69.
1969.
Yeah.
So
So
66 years.
I feel like it's even shorter. Like
I do too. Yeah. I think it's like the first, I don't remember, like cross country or something where it was like legitimate.
It's like 50 years
flight
or
happening,
whatever,
or- yeah,
from
yeah.
like the first like flight to the moon landing.
I feel like it's something from like 1930 to 1969. Like
Well,
something happened.
I mean,
just World War One,
World War
and
One
then
and
World
Two.
War Two. Like the difference in what they had there.
Well, because famously, like I just remember in World War One, to drop bombs, someone had to lean out of the plane and physically drop a
it,
bomb,
yeah.
like they're holding a bomb out over the edge. And then you think World War Two, which 20ish years or whatever to 18 to 38. So 20 years later, now you got B-52 fucking bombers. Now you got insane technology. You know?
And then 69, you had a rocket,
And you got fucking spaceships.
spaceships, and then nothing.
Yeah, I was curious, right? It's real.
Then what was going on, guys?
Really fascinating. Well, people will say funding.
Fucking bullshit.
I mean, a huge part of it was Sputnik. They're
Yeah.
saying the AI, the DeepSeek this week. They're saying is a Sputnik moment for
Oh,
AI.
okay.
Like now it's a race.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
China was just like, oh, we
we go.
got a fucking AI and it's cheaper and better than yours. And now everyone in America. I mean, it's gonna. You know, they said AGI, like having the general intelligence that is like having an AI friend was 10 years, maybe 15 years away.
Yeah.
But this might be a moon landing thing where all of a sudden Russia shoots
Just kidding. Here we go. You
Russia
have
shoots
friends now.
Sputnik. And basically the US government was like, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
There's not blank check, go nuts. Like, let's get to the fucking moon.
You might get that type of personality with this administration.
Trump,
so
well, and Trump's probably going to say it, but then it's like landing on the
what
moon
does
is
that
one
even
thing,
mean? Yeah.
but creating God,
Oh my God. Yeah.
like what like,
Right.
Like what is, yeah, artificial general intelligence, something that could replicate itself, improve itself,
Yeah.
but also like be self-aware, but it's smarter than us. You know,
But what is smart?
what is intelligence? Yes.
Yeah.
Another great explained episode. Now I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah.
The animal intelligence episode,
Yeah.
which is the one I really enjoyed. I remember specifically them to, you know, this idea like, well, we think, you know,
Elephants are dumb.
elephants are dumb. That's the good example. But it was like they were trying to get the elephant to step up and use its trunk to get something. And the elephant refused to do it. And they're like, well, you're fucking stupid, elephant. It turns out that the trunk is the first line of defense. It's mainly for touch and smell. And the elephant doesn't feel safe to reach up and do it,
Yeah.
you know, because it exposes itself.
The trunk isn't
But
the tool for the elephant.
Right, it's not a tool.
It's not a
It's something
tool.
different. So like, but then you put this thing on the ground, the same puzzle, it does it right away.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it was just that it didn't want to use its trunk in an exposed way.
Right.
You know, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe
Yeah.
we're stupid, you know?
Yeah. Richie's been using his little top lip as a trunk lately.
Well, it is crazy. It has a lot of little muscles
Well,
in it.
and like he he kind of has loose lips. He just
Yeah.
has big lips.
Yeah.
Compared to some horses that have really like tight lips.
Yeah.
And he's able to kind of like hook his around and
Totally.
like nudge you and kind of get
Yeah.
you with it. He got me with it the other day. I was drinking my coffee and just had it in my Yeti, and oh my God, yeah, it was like on my lip, and he just, because he doesn't know his own strength, he just kind of nudged me. And
Well, they truly don't.
no.
Because they'll just like lean into you, and it's
Yeah.
like, bro, you're like 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, they'll just like in this.
Cuddle.
and
Like,
it-
no.
Even their motions, it looks slow,
Yeah.
but like a fucking
When they come
knee.
down. Oh God, the amount of times I've been bent over putting wraps or boots or something on, and they just, just kind of pull their knee up just to shift it, and it whacks my chin.
Oh, it's crazy.
And I'm convinced that I've lost all my teeth or my jaw is completely
Yeah.
out of place. I mean, it is a shock to the
Right,
system.
yeah.
And he's just like, sorry, I just needed to shift.
Yeah, they don't even realize their own strength and power, and yeah.
No. But yeah. So Richie has a little trunk.
Well, we played our show,
We did. We managed to
played the
do it.
cover set. It was really
Yeah.
fun.
It was so fun to learn those songs.
It was.
I mean, I will say it all the time. I just kind of love to be told what to do.
Well, it's a motivator
and-
to play guitar and to play different styles.
Right.
Yeah.
I think creativity is beautiful. And at the end of the day, I do enjoy writing original music, but I definitely prefer to just kind of learn something and then play it.
Well, it's hard, as a musician, to be self-employed. It's hard to like motivate yourself, to give yourself deadlines,
Right.
and so like, or to just like try and play outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yes.
And so like by doing these cover sets,
Yeah.
what it does is it forces you to like play in a style you wouldn't normally play.
Learn that Heartbreaker solo. I don't know what the fuck is going on in that,
you
so
book-
I have to look it up and
You
like,
book the show
oh.
that forces you
Yes.
like, well, shit, I've only got X amount of weeks to get prepared for this. And
Right.
it just forces you to do it. And now you have like a new skill set. You never know when that might come in handy when you're writing a song later.
Right. Then you're like, I remember I did this thing.
Oh,
on
this
other
thing. That was
song,
fascinating.
and
Like, what if I change the key? And yeah.
Right. So very beneficial.
It just adds to your toolkit. You just keep adding.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do more covers.
I love a good cover set. I love mimicking
I'm
voices.
fine with it,
I
yeah.
know. Well, and we've talked about this many, many times, but we used to be so against,
Well,
if you weren't writing and playing original music, then like, what are you doing?
yeah, you're not a real musician then.
But like we said after the Rush concert, if you can play freaking Rush,
Oh my God. How
you
fucking
can do
talented are you?
anything.
Yeah,
You're an
yeah.
extremely talented musician. So, but yeah, the show was very fun. We got a little bit hijacked by the shitty sound guy.
Well, he wasn't even a real sound guy. This guy came up. Well,
You can explain it.
I wasn't even really paying attention. I feel like you knew more about it than
I don't know.
did.
There was a guy there that
He kept telling me to turn up.
well, he was acting like the sound guy. He was over by the board, and we did a line check. So he's like, play your guitar, and I was like, okay, can I get it in my monitors? He's like, yeah. He put it in my monitors. I was like, cool. And this is the first year that there's been a quote unquote sound guy. There's a guy who's in one of the bands who helps put on the show, and he provides all the equipment. So he brings the PA. I'm pretty sure it's most of his, like it's his monitors and stuff.
I think it's all his stuff.
I think it's
yeah.
all his stuff. And he's always sort of just like kind of tiptoed around sound guying, but not really done anything. So this year, it really felt like there's someone paying attention and someone helping us get it in our monitors and someone making sure that the sound's good in the house, etc. And so we're like, okay, cool. Like we have this guy to run sound. And he did, like right before we played, he's like, hey man, to you playing bass, turn way up.
Yeah.
Like I hardly have any of you. And we're like, okay,
Okay.
we can't hear anything.
Yeah.
I mean, all we get is what's in the monitors. So you turned way up, and long story short, he was trying to like live sound guy,
Right. So if someone was soloing, he was trying to turn up that specific thing.
but
and-
he was over on the side next to one of the speakers.
Oh, yeah.
And he just couldn't hear anything. So unbeknownst to us, it's only bass for like half the set, like booming and
Well, I think the problem was it wasn't only bass. It was just like, wow, wow. Like it was just like overtone.
Yeah,
It was just like an overtone.
So the whole set had an overtone. He wouldn't turn. He like
The lead
couldn't
guitar up.
turn the lead guitar up for whatever reason, even though he kept telling Cole to turn it up. It's like, buddy, you have an entire soundboard.
Yeah.
You have the control over the speakers.
In
like,
these situations, the amps. It's a small room.
you don't even need.
You don't need it. The amps are
You
going to be
don't
loud
need it.
enough. We
Yeah.
can do it from the amps. Just push the vocals.
Yep.
Like,
which is what we've done every other
Every
year,
other-
and it's been
way
wonderful.
better.
So it was. I think people still loved us.
it was still very fun.
It was still very fun, but I think everyone understood it like was not our fault. Actually, I'm pretty sure the guy got kicked out.
I think he got removed.
I think Lex's dad said, "Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah,
You're ruining
yeah.
everything." And
Yeah.
we had like one song left, and that was the end of
Whatever.
it. But
We'll do more.
it was a good time.
I enjoy doing it. Yeah.
Me too. So yeah, I need an excuse to keep playing guitar
I know.
because I won't do it on my own. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Cadaver Dogs this Saturday at the Newport.
That'll be
So
fun.
If this is out before
Are you
then,
nervous?
come out. No, not really.
Good.
You know, I'll practice with Lex. Make sure that the setups feel good. I want to tweak the guitar a little bit after hearing it.
Longest continuously running live music venue in America.
That's right, the Newport Music Hall, historic Newport Music Hall.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really nervous. I guess I'm not nervous to perform.
Yeah.
You know, but I have no concept of how many people will be there.
I mean, that's always the challenge.
And
it's like
I
you
just
want to play these big rooms,
Yeah.
but you want to play them full. There's
I
nothing
don't even need it
worse.
full.
Well,
Yeah.
but you want an audience. You want a crowd. You want it to feel. Because, I mean, in a bigger room, there could be 250 people,
And it feels like nothing.
but it feels like nothing. And that's just as shitty as a feeling as if 3 people show up to a small
Yeah.
room. So you want that sense of the room is full enough.
I'm trying to think of like the biggest crowd we played for, which would have probably been Carolina Rebellion.
I was going to say at a festival, probably,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, which would have been thousands. I think it was the Friday night pre-party,
Yeah.
so probably somewhere in the 3,000 range.
Yeah. Which I'm like, I would much rather play in front of a shit ton of people because then you can't hyper focus on anybody.
Oh yeah.
Then
yeah.
it's not like I'm playing to this person who came here to see
Yeah.
me. It's like, well, all y'all came. Let's fucking go.
I've
like,
also played, on the road in a town that the promoter forgot about us to
Oh. yeah.
the bartender.
Oh, yeah. Or the other band. Just
Or
the other
just
band.
the other band. Yeah.
I think that happened to us in New Orleans. It was like a Wednesday night.
yeah.
And
Was that Thumb in the Sleeves?
no, I'm talking about
Oh, you
the
and
two of
I.
us.
Well,
Yeah.
there were a couple of friends there. but
Yeah.
There were probably like 10 people altogether.
Yeah.
In the bar.
Yeah. Those are, but yeah, I think it was a thing where just like nobody promoted it. We had never played in the city
Yeah.
as King Serpent, and that's what you get. Those are good dress rehearsals.
Well, we got to get ready. We should probably. We got to have some sort of King Serpent release this year, because
It's the year of the snake.
it's the year of the snake.
Duh, what are we doing? Oh my God.
Like starting
We
in
wasted 28 days.
starting in a couple of days. Well, no, it doesn't start until like Chinese New Year.
I thought Chinese New Year just happened.
Did it? Oh,
It might have.
I don't know.
Well,
somebody comment.
Maybe
Let us
we're
know.
only 2 days behind, but
Yeah.
you're right. I forgot to bring that up.
Yeah.
Year of the motherfucking snake.
Year of the motherfucking snake.
Okay,
it's our
game
year.
on. That's a reason to practice. God
our
damn it.
year.
Let's go.
It's our year.
It might be our year. It's our year. I'm going to make it our year. I was thinking
Oh,
earlier
all
today.
right. I like this energy.
know.
All right.
Thank you. I think I finally woke up.
I can tell. I'm chilling out.
I recently, just because there's been a lot of stressors, there's been a lot of things.
Life, man.
I know. But I've found myself kind of in the moment of whatever I'm doing. And this sounds so fucking stupid.
Go on.
But just saying, like, it's going to be fine. Like, don't even begin to think about the hypotheticals, the potentials. Don't project. Like, my initial reaction is,
Right.
and then it's like, it's going to be fine. And it's almost like I'm putting it out there for
Yeah.
whoever's running the shit. Like, you got me on this one, right? You got me on this. No, you got me on this one.
I think the key is
And it works out.
the key is typically to think about the worst situation. Like, what is the worst outcome and what is the worst thing that could happen? And once you like fully embrace that that's a possibility, and you're like, okay, well,
But I'm not even going there.
yeah,
I'm just saying the bad thing isn't going to happen.
right.
Like
right.
it's just not gonna, and these are very mundane
know.
things. So it's not like, oh, I cut my foot off. I'll be fine.
I'm just thinking about. I really we had a moment a few months ago when we were like being strong armed and we sort of thought,
Yeah.
Our
And I
s-
was like, worst case scenario, we file for bankruptcy and
I
we
literally,
move.
I had the thought, I was like, okay, I Googled like bankruptcy, like what
Oh,
is,
Matt.
I was
I
just
didn't
like,
get that far.
I was just like,
I'll go
how,
live with my parents.
I was like, what is it? What does
Yeah.
it look like? What does it do to your credit score? What does it do to your business? Because we were going to be forcibly pushed out of a situation.
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point we'll really go into it, but it was like
God.
we had everything in motion for our business, and someone was trying to fuck us.
Yeah.
And there was the potential that we would be majorly fucked, and then we have debt, and we
Right.
wouldn't be able to pay it back
Right,
because
right,
our
right.
business would be stopped. And I was like, okay, well now I've like embraced it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I've researched the outcomes, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's the worst thing that happens? I don't know.
Start over.
Just start the fuck over.
Yeah.
And now that Trump won again, I'm like, the president's filed for bankruptcy like 3 times.
Oh my God. Well, yeah,
Like,
you look at all these
like,
people.
You could be fucking president.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that could happen? I could be president.
That might not be a very fun thing to be.
It might be the worst thing to be.
It actually might be
It
the worst
honestly might be the
thing
worst
to
thing to be.
But all that to say, I'm just not even going there.
Yeah.
I'm just like, things are happening and I'm just like, fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
This-
Keep moving forward.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Yeah. And then I usually just kind of forget about it and then nothing happens. And
Yeah,
it's
well,
great.
and that's, I mean, like anything, if you start to get heated, count to 10, focus on your breathing. Like, if you really, like, pause for a beat,
yeah.
whatever that thing is, you're like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yes. Yes.
You can keep winding it up, or
Yeah.
you can, like, pause and be like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. And I don't really know why our initial reaction is to wind it up, is to just kind of like
Well, I think evolutionary again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right?
defense
Probably the
mechanism.
defense mechanism. There was
Yeah.
safety in it.
But why wouldn't there be safety in saying, chill out, you're fine?
Well,
Then
because
you're not raising your blood pressure. Then you're not.
probably most of human existence, you had to react.
It was more reactionary. You didn't have time to think.
Oh, it's a tiger. Oh,
It's so much more of a physical
this person's about to kill
thing.
me. Or
Yeah.
you had to be fight or flight at all times.
Yeah.
Because everything could kill you.
Now we can be thinkers.
Well, and that's why all of this shit, you have to like train yourself. It's all a muscle. You
Yeah.
know, we've leaned into conscientiousness, society, living in larger groups than we were ever supposed to live in. Right? And all of this has happened in, America's only been here 249 years or
Yeah.
whatever. So like out of the thousands and thousands, 300,000 years, whatever, 30,000 years of civilization, the tiniest sliver of it is right now.
Yeah.
And everything is new.
Yeah.
Everything. So of course we're stressed.
Yeah. Yep. But then you just have to remind yourself, everybody's stressed.
Everybody's stressed. And once you really that was the thing about COVID that I brought up a ton, when people would start to be like it's very easy to complain about our shit.
Right.
Oh, like I wasn't allowed to work and you had to go back to the bakery and it was really hard and it was terrifying and blah. It's like, yeah, for everybody. For everybody.
Yeah.
So having that perspective to be like, I don't know, we all went through this shit together and we're all going through life together.
It's a shame though that like those things fade and everybody still, to have those moments like a COVID moment or a 9/11
Well,
moment.
the 9/11 thing was camaraderie. Yeah. It
Yeah.
brought us together.
Yeah. And
Patriotism.
then we're so quick to then individualize once again and
Yeah.
think that only this is affecting me and only
That's why
I'm feeling this way.
I've said it a million times. That's why we need an alien.
We really need an alien.
We need a fucking alien
Just a
because
little buddy.
we're always us versus them.
Yeah.
And we other people, right?
Right.
So like we spend all this time being like, oh, the Muslims are bad, or black or white, or oh no, the Asians or China, and we just like are like, how can we
Like
other?
create the other.
We create
which
the
is so
other,
fucking stupid.
whether it's religion or race or whatever.
Class or
class especially, yeah, of course.
Class is the big
Historically,
one,
oh well, that's the one that's actually the problem.
really. Yeah.
But once you have an alien,
That's the other.
oh, now we're a human. We're one human people. We can focus on killing something else instead of each other.
Right. Right.
We need like We need an alien that's nefarious, but like kind of dumb. So then
So we can still be like, we are still the strong
we
one.
can keep like kicking his ass, you know.
Yeah, but he's like always there. He's
every
like kind
few,
of annoying.
Every few years he pops back
like,
up. Like
fight the alien.
it has like really shitty plans, you know. Like it's like a super villain, but it like it's like a James Bond villain where it's telling you all the plans and how it's gonna work, and we're just like,
Sure, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Zap.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn it, not again.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back every 50 years. It's just like, so why don't, if I was a government,
Every generation has to fight the alien.
if I was the government, I would just create that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, you'd have to be a government that
You'd have
wants
a
everybody
world
to
government,
be together.
Which I'm sure a lot of conspiracy theorists out there are like, there is, you know, already a ruling oligarchy
Oh yeah.
cabal of
Yeah.
people, of elites who are manipulating and puppet mastering all of these things. But yeah, I'm like, if you want society to work better, create a big fucking alien race, have Zora.
You got
out
AI
there.
now. You
Yeah,
can fool
can
the
fully
fuck
do
out
it.
of people.
Just like the drones they're using off of New Jersey.
Oh my God. Exactly. Just say, actually, we do think it's aliens.
It might really be
It
aliens.
might really be aliens.
Guys, we need to, you know what? Everybody needs to do their fair share and their part right now.
Put your damn shopping cart away.
Put your shopping cart away. Like, we're all in this together. You can milk that for a while.
For a while.
I don't even think you really have to, like, actually kill anybody.
No.
Like, what you could do is just, you could fake that too.
You could, yeah.
You could just pick, like, somewhere that people, like, sort of know as a place or whatever. Do a fake fucking explosion.
So when we file for bankruptcy and then you become president and everything is shitty,
And
you know exactly how to create
exactly what to
the,
do.
yeah.
Good thing we only have, like, 4 listeners to this.
Rob, you're in on it.
Rob, don't tell anybody. When President Franklin announces that the aliens are coming to attack,
They're real.
They're real.
They're real.
It's definitely not fabricated to save society.
Oh my God. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward
I'll
to
wear a
it.
power suit.
All right. Well, you look great in a power suit.
I've never worn one.
Just so you have your little blazer.
What blazer?
Your blazer coat that you like you have a long blazer that you wear sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I have a few of them.
Yeah,
I
they're all
have
the same
all
one.
three
You have
colors
three
from J.
colors. That's what
Crew.
I'm talking about.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
It gives off an era of like
Boss bitch.
boss bitch. Yes.
That's what you're saying.
But all right, we're gonna wrap up for tonight.
Leaving on aliens.
Leaving on, you know, I want to believe.